Uh, Captain Nishanta, with the new shift in maritime industry, can Sri Lankan government position itself as a dynamic part of the southern maritime zone following the rise of Singapore and Dubai? Do you think that Sri Lanka is well placed to capitalize on its geographical location and take advantage of the fast growing Indian and Chinese economies?
Yes, it is. It is, as I said earlier, the most important thing which we have to make it for our advantage is our location. This strategic location is very, very important. Look at this. Where is Dubai and where is Singapore? Right? And all the vessels coming from on the maritime merchant ships which are coming from US and then the west coast of US, then the Korea, Japan, East, Southeast Asia, all passing through Singapore. Then the same cargo has been carried all the way, passing south of Sri Lanka to Dubai and the west countries. Say now with the amount of charges, the freight charges, at very high freight rate, companies are looking forward to avoid crossing Suez Canal as much as possible. So we can use this to convert into our advantage if you create a profitable hub, maritime hub in Sri Lanka. So we have to focus on strategic planning to create a container hub. I believe that that's the best way. And then now at this moment you may not be able to think what possibilities we have because the Singapore and Dubai has already, those are developed ports, right? And apart from Dubai, now the new port which is coming up at which has been in use for last couple of years is Salalah, is Oman. It's also so many ships every day coming in and out and discharging loading cargo, but they don't use much. So these is all transit hubs. What has happened during this 30 years war, the requirement of southern trade, South Indian Ocean, this southern trade, the requirement of southern trade, to fulfill those requirements, the India, Tuticorin, and then Oman, Salalah, and then the Dubai, and then the Singapore, these areas, these ports have capitalized using that our failures. And they also fueled this war, I believe, and they didn't want us to win the war, or they didn't want us to finish this civil rights in Sri Lanka, because they knew that one day if Sri Lanka emerged as a peaceful country, then we will have much more opportunities. So I think the best location and then the best land, then the uninterrupted weather conditions, and then also the cheap labor, intelligent, talented, English-speaking Sri Lankan generation. I mean, those are the resources what we have. Initially when they started with Singapore, most of the people, they were only speaking in Chinese. After the business center has grown up, now everybody is speaking Chinese and everybody welcome. So they have adopted a system which is suitable for the growth of economy. In Dubai, also the same story. When they cannot, what they did, they have taken a lot of people, lot of educated people from outside the countries. But in our case, what? We have many talented, intelligent and professionals who are working in other countries. So we can make use of them, and we can use all our facilities, and we can create this as one of the wonderful hub one day.
Captain Nishanta, Noburu Ueda, Chairman and President of ClassNK Japan, explained that Sri Lanka has the opportunity to emerge as a shipping center in the south, similar to Singapore and Dubai. What are your views about it, considering the previous question on the fast growing economy of Indian and Chinese economies?
Yeah, it is. He is correct actually. I mean, these feasibility studies have been carried out by many guys, and now you see as you know, the world economy keep on changing, but this time it is within next 2-3 decades, the major world power could be will lie within our Asian region with the growth of rapid growth of China and India's economy. But how well this Sri Lanka is placed to gain some profit out of this economy? The economical growth can never be without shipping, imports and exports. It will be always there. Like even in Sri Lanka, we can, with our limited resources what we have, we can be self-sufficient. But can we develop our economy, or can we come up with our economy without any exports? It is not depending on the imports, it's always exports. So we have to go for massive productions. Now what happens with China, and now recently with India also, with the mass productions they have, and at a cheaper rate, they are distributing all commodities around the world. For example, cars and cheaper cars and the electronics items and many commodities which other countries will have to ultimately purchase because of its cheap rate. So, if these countries, with this growth of China and Indian economy, there will be fast growing shipping trades, and more ships will keep moving in these areas. So, if Sri Lanka become the most suitable hub for that, as I told you before, like this, if one country, for example, have to ship some cargo from China to, let's say, South Africa, let's say Dubai, or let's say to any other part of the destinations, they may not have sufficient capacity to fill up those ships. So what happens if you take it, for example, a container ship, 13,000 or 18,000 TEU container ship, which is a massive container ship today at the present level, considered to be as large container ships. These container ships, do they have sufficient cargo for exporting to those individual destinations? They will find it very difficult. So what happens instead? Either they have to go with collaboration with other shipping companies so that they can utilize their ships to carry maximum capacity with export cargo to Colombo, a port like, Midway, the port Midway, which part of this cargo will be discharged and then the remaining part can be carried forward. Then there are other sector of the route, the same shipping route, the other sector, other ships can come and load those cargo and can be discharged in their other destinations, which are not like on the first initial plan. So this is what you call, it's the main use of a transit hub. So this way, everybody can make profit. The ships will be full of cargo. Then it will be timely reach the destinations wherever they want. And then also they can utilize the various ships, feeder ships, to distribute the cargo for those countries. Many small countries will not have the facility to receive larger vessels. So if Sri Lanka, the Hambantota and the Colombo Harbour, Colombo South Centre now, if it is developed well, then they can easily accommodate these larger vessels, and with fast operation, we can operate like a very useful, profitable hub. Now, when you say about this, initially it may not be that fast moving, but once it is set up, once the 6 things are going on, that's how ports are being developed. Then day by day, it may take a couple of years, but I am sure that we can achieve this.